Hi guys, so I'm going to be doing a foundation review on the Maybelline Matte and Poreless Fit Me. I went on an actual journey to find this foundation. Like, you would not believe. It involved going to all the CVS's and Walgreens in my hometown, not being able to find anything, and then driving an hour away, finding it in a CVS and a Walgreens there. I got the shade 330, and in the powder, 330 just says Toffee, but in the foundations, 330 says Toffee Caramel. So I'm going to be trying out this foundation and in conjunction with this powder for you today for a couple of hours. I have some errands I have to run. I'm going to lunch with my sisters and stuff. So I'm going to see how this holds up. I bought the powder and the foundation mostly for review's sake because I don't usually powder my entire face, and I also don't powder with the same color foundation that I'm using. And these foundations, these powders seem to match the foundations pretty well. Like, it's a little bit lighter, but it's not as light as my usual thing. But I usually only powder my face as a highlight. So I powder my forehead, down my nose. I actually powder like my entire T-zone, but with a lighter powder so that it works as a highlight and also as a mattifier. But I think for the sake of the view, I am going to powder my entire face with this, at least lightly, to see how this is going to go and how they work together. So it says it is matte and poreless, and it's for normal to oily skin. Some of the claims are that it mattifies and refines pores, matches natural tone, and it's a natural and seamless finish. I'm assuming it's supposed to be a matte finish, but I have seen some reviews that say it's more of a demi matte finish than it is a matte finish, but we will see. So I'm going to be applying mine with a beauty blending sponge, a damp one. That's how I apply all of my foundations. That's how I'm going to apply this one. All right, glasses off, slightly blind. Let's put on some foundation. So I'm shaking it a little bit, and I'm just going to take off the top. It does not have a pump, which is not my favorite thing, but I mean, I can live with it. Most drugstore foundations don't come with pumps. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit on the back of my hand. Okay, it's oil, it's runny. That's a very, actually, the foundation's kind of thin. Interesting. So I'm going to start on this side of my face. I am cleansed and moisturized, but I do not have a primer on because I really wanted to see how this foundation would work without a primer. So I got the color 330. The only other color before 330 was 315. And I've read on some message boards and just finding some threads and things of girls who say that they're around my color. My color is MAC NC44, and I also use Toast in Revlon Colors Day. Although Toast is a little bit orange for me. They said that 315 and 330 is for them, and I know that the regular Fit Me foundation has a 315, a 320, and a 330. And 315 was way too light for me. And then so I grabbed 330 in the tube, but in the bottle, it looked like it would be around me. On my skin, it is a little bit dark, but I like being dark, so that's fine. But I also kind of like is that it's a little bit, I'd say it was neutral orange. It's not super yellow. It's also not very orange. So I'm gonna let it's sitting right now, and it's set this on my face, which I've done first. It's definitely set to an almost matte finish. I wouldn't even say it was demi. I'd say that it was almost it's almost matte. I have a little bit of shine on my nose, so I'd say maybe it's pretty matte. I think with the powder, it's gonna be very matte. So I'm gonna go ahead and powder. I'm gonna do my beauty blender first. I powder my T-zone with my beauty blender, my sponge, my beauty blender sponge. So I kind of like dab, roll a little bit so I have a good amount on there. And I do my forehead, down my nose. Then I move it over to the, like the sharp part, and go under my eyes. And around my nose. And I'd say that this powder matches this foundation really nicely. It looks a little bit light, but it's definitely not highlighting like my highlight powder does. So now that's pressed in. I have to press that into the important areas. And now I'm going to use a fluffy brush just to kind of dust it over the rest of my face. Alright, one thin dusting powder over my face. It looks a little too matte, which is why I don't like to powder my entire face. But it looks nice. It definitely does not look cakey, which that's why I usually don't powder my entire face. This stuff be looking cakey quick. And this actually looks really nice. Really nice on. Alright, I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup, and then I'm going to go to lunch with my sisters, and then I will give you guys an update. Okay, see you then. Hi guys. Alright, so it is about 2:30 now. I've had my foundation on for about an hour and a half. It so far, I think, looks really great. This is my face in daylight. Inside of my house, my sister thinks that the foundation looks a little bit dark and kind of orange for me, but I think in just kind of out and about, I think it looks really good. I like the color of it. I think that if you did not already know what color my face was supposed to be, that it would look normal. I don't know, I feel like it matches me really well. I like the color. I think that so far, since I do like this foundation, here's a little close-up of my skin texture and how the foundation's sitting on my skin. And then my foundation always rubs off around my nose because I wear glasses, but here's a close-up. It's not really settling in any lines all the way down here, but foundation usually kind of does do that right there for me, but not too much. So far, I'm liking this foundation. The texture now, since I've had it on for about an hour and a half, it's not as matte as it was when I first put it on, which is good. So it's kind of, I've oiled through it really nicely. I am oiling up through the foundation, but so far it's not, I don't look oily. I think that my foundation's kind of warmed up a little bit, and it's just kind of wet enough to where I look matte, but I don't look really chalky matte. So far I'm liking the foundation. It is settling a little bit in the textures of my face, but like every foundation looks like that on me, and that sucks. But so that's about an hour and a half. I will come back to you guys in a couple more hours. Hiya guys. Alright, so it's a little after 4 o'clock, so I've had my makeup on for a little more than 3 hours. So far now, I'll show you, I am starting to get, sun's in my eye, I am starting to get a little bit oily in my T-zone, and the texture of my face is starting to come out a little bit more, but that's kind of almost how all foundations settle on my skin. But so far, I'm actually not that oily after 4 hours. That's really not an issue. I think that's pretty great. Also, I found that this foundation does transfer. You can't see it on the camera, but the foundation does transfer, and I can't see if you can tell on my shirt. I was sitting on the floor on my computer, and I had kind of my neck like my shoulders up like this, and what finished under my neck transferred into my shirt. I've never experienced that before, and that's a little bit weird to me. I don't know. That's never happened to me. You can see the foundation, and it's not, you can't see it as bad in here, but when I went to the bathroom, I saw it, and I was like, wow, I gotta change shirts. But other than that, I actually like the foundation. I'm not as oily as I am with some other foundations at this point at about 3 hours, so that's great. I'm going to give it a couple more hours, and I'm going to come back with probably one more update on this foundation, but so far I don't hate it. It does transfer, but I think that I might just blot more, because I'm not blotting, which I normally would be blotting during the day, so, but as you can see, it's a little close up again. I'm shiny, but I'm not, I look a little bit more dewy than I do shiny, to be honest. But, so I'll see you guys in a couple more hours. Hi guys. Alright, so it is about 6 p.m. It's getting very dark out. I'm done for the day of going out and doing things, so this is going to be the last foundation update. So I've had the foundation on for a total of about 5 hours, and this is what it looks like right now. I'm going to insert an image of a flash photo picture that I took like 30 minutes ago to kind of show you how oily I am. I'm just basically very oily in my T-zone, like where I would normally be oily. That's where I'm oily. I'm not as oily as I would be with some other foundations, but I'm still oily. I would need to blot, and I feel like if I was blotting throughout the day, I wouldn't be this oily. So, also, there's not a lot of foundation breakdown. It's not caking up anywhere. which is really nice. As far as its claims, it settled here, but everything settles there for me. As far as its claims of being matte and poreless, it's matte for a while. It's more satiny throughout the day. You're not going to be matte for the entire day. As far as being poreless, I would say no, it wasn't poreless when I put it on, and it's definitely not poreless now. As you can see, I have a lot of texture on my skin, and it didn't get rid of that texture. But as far as talking about the foundation, I do not hate it. I think that the color is in indoor light is a little bit brown for me. Like, it's not quite orange. It's not very, very yellow. It is a little bit, it's maybe a half shade too dark. So I'm probably, since I don't hate this foundation that much, I'm probably going to buy the 315 lighter color that comes before the one that I got, because I got 330. I'm probably going to get 315, mix a little bit of that into my foundation, and I'll probably wear this foundation more. I don't hate this foundation at all. It's not the greatest thing I've ever put on my face, but I think I'm going to put it into my rotation because I've been looking for something that is a cheap, like a cheap drugstore alternative foundation. As far as the longevity of the foundation and the powder go, the powder's whatever for me. I'm probably not going to keep the powder. I don't think the foundation needs the powder. I don't usually powder my entire face anyway. I usually just powder my T-zone, and when I do that, I also use a lighter powder, so I wouldn't use the same color powder that goes with my foundation anyway. I would be willing to get a lighter powder in that version of the Maybelline Matte Fit Me powder. I would get a lighter one to do that, but I've been using the Rimmel Stay Matte. That stuff's really cheap, and I'm all about it. I like it. So, I don't think that the powder did anything for the longevity of the foundation. It doesn't really need to be set because the foundation, at least on me, once I let it dry, it's set. So it didn't really need a powder. So as far as the powder, whatever. Foundation, I like it. So yeah, that's my review on the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. If you want to see more videos, foundation review videos, subscribe, tell me if you like these things. I've definitely been looking for more foundations lately, so I'm going to be doing more foundation like reviews, especially some high-end ones. I am really looking to try to find a good foundation that I like, a drugstore and a high-end, so I'm going to be doing a lot of, you know, things like that. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment if you want to ask me a question, or if you want to say like what up, and I'll see you guys next time.